with the help of the Royal Air Force, some 2.7 million tons of bombs on Europe. Entire cities like Dresden and Tokyo burned in single nights. Many of these aerial angels of death were adorned with playful names, mascots, and painted pinup girls. But in the end, history remembers the name of just two of those 50,000 planes, the Enola Gay and Boxcar. We remember those two planes not because of how many bombs they dropped, but because of how few. One mission each, one bomb each, dropped on two different cities, 3 days apart, in the final week of the final theater of the war. Those bombs, too, had names now also forever etched in history: Fat Man and Little Boy. Globally, World War II killed upward of 60 million people. The National World War II Museum estimates the toll at 15 million combatants and 45 million civilians. And it was a war filled with horrors that continue to echo across history. The Bataan Death March, the Tokyo firebombings, the siege of Stalingrad, and the 6 million Jewish victims dead in Europe from the Holocaust. But the atomic bombs, weapons that killed 100,000 people faster than a human could react to the flash of the explosion, are not mere history. They announced the beginning of a new post-war atomic era that remains present and threatening to our daily life 8 decades later. The making of those two bombs stands as one of humanity's most monumental achievements, a project conducted completely in secrecy under immense time pressure that delivered to the Earth a never-before-seen source of tremendous energy. It was a technology that would transform the politics and geopolitics of our world. As the head of the U.S. science effort, Vannevar Bush concluded, "The merging of efforts of science, engineering, technology, industry, labor, finance, and the military brought about the atomic bomb. In scale relative to the scale of its time, the building of the pyramids offers a possible comparison." While World War II was fought in places like Guadalcanal, El Alamein, and Bastogne, in the skies over Britain, Germany, and Japan, and in the seas of the North Atlantic, Midway, and Leyte Gulf, the war was won in factories like Willow Run and in laboratories at Bletchley Park, MIT, Los Alamos, and the University of Chicago, where inventions like radar, the proximity fuse, and the atomic bomb were created, and advances made in meteorology, computers, and physics. Robert Furman, an engineer on the Manhattan Project, reflected decades later, although World War II was a big military operation, with perhaps 11 million men and women in uniform before it was over, it was equally a scientists' and mathematicians' war. It is one of the great ironies of World War II that the weapon that would end the war with Japan was rooted firmly in the rise of the Third Reich. The story of the building of those atomic bombs began long before World War II. As teams of physicists in the US and Europe raced to unlock the secrets of the atom in the 1920s and 1930s. A small group of visionary scientists who understood the massive destructive potential of their discoveries long before any government or military did. It was Hitler's purge and persecution of Jews that led to a flood of refugee talent departing Europe, and specifically a group of groundbreaking physicists who had been busy inventing a new atomic science, decamping for schools in the U.S., putting them in the right places at the right times to participate in something called the Manhattan Project. Together, they formed perhaps the most talented group of scientists who have ever come together for a single purpose in world history. Having fled fascism and seen its evils up close, many also knew the esteemed scientists, led by the giant Werner Heisenberg, who would be working on the same questions in Nazi Germany, and were terrified by the consequences if Adolf Hitler unlocked the bomb's mysteries first. They woke each day in an all-out fearful race to preserve freedom and democracy. Set on a stage as large as World War II, it's easy to lose sight that all of this, the brutality of war, the puzzle of grand strategy, the mystery of science, the advance of technology, was being lived through the individual lives and experiences of scientists.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.